Matilda goes to an Australian bank with some current Australian banknotes. The cashier says, quote, "The 3 notes you gave me are worth a total of 19 Australian dollars," unquote. Matilda walks out with $19 contentedly. How is this possible? Once again, Matilda goes to an Australian bank with some current Australian banknotes. The cashier says, "The 3 notes you gave me are worth a total of 19 Australian dollars." Matilda walks out with $19 contentedly. How is this possible?
We have one Australian on this call. Dani, do you know this one off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, absolutely not. I can throw out as many fun facts as we like and see which one of them turns out to somehow be relevant, though. The one thing, I'm sure there are some people that probably don't know much about which banknotes we do have as our normal ones, so probably worth mentioning. Our lowest current common note is the $5, and then just 5, and then 10, and then straight to 20. I assume nothing higher than that is going to be relevant here.
5, 10, and 20, so you don't have singles?
No, those are all coins. That said, I know that we also have some weird stuff where we have a fair few out of circulation currencies that technically can be accepted. They still count. They were never made illegitimate currency. Illegitimate? They were never delegitimized as currency. I don't know if that plays into it.
Doesn't the Perth Mint have something like $1 million coin or something like that they cast just as a thing to show off? And it's actually worth far more than that in gold. And they just decided, that's $1 million coin. That's our museum exhibit.
If you tell me a story about Perth, I just have to say, yeah, probably. When people say, oh, that thing that's true about Australia, and everyone else in America has to go, yeah, that could be true. That's me with Perth.
Right. Okay.
So the number thing confuses me. My first thought was, does this person have a sight impairment where they themselves can't see the banknote, so they need additional confirmation about what it is?
Most banknotes that aren't American have some fairly significant differences between each of them. Like the British ones have different colours and sizes and big, bold shapes on them as well, just so you can be sure even if you're visually impaired.
Yeah, that goes here as well.
Go figure, America lagging behind accommodation for people who might need it. Anyway, don't get me started.
I'm trying to see if I can approach this as one of those puzzles with the 5-gallon jug and the 3-gallon jug, and you have to make 4 gallons, but I don't think that works with banknotes.
Yeah, I can't see how this works with that trick that kids think that they have, where if you cut the banknote in half and then give it to the bank, they have to give you a clean one in return.
Is that a thing?
It's absolutely not quite a thing, but boy, do kids love to think that it is.
You have to have the serial number, right? To get a replacement for a broken note, I think you have to have the serial number.
You are kind of getting close with that.
That's interesting. I was clearly way off. I was then going along the lines of, I don't know, there's just one particular $10 note out there that has a defect on it that makes it worth $14.
Australia decimalised at about the same time as the UK did, I think. They took a different approach to it. But they used to have pounds, shillings, and pence, same as we did.
Yep. We had a handy jingle, so even I know exactly when that happened. On the 14th of February, 1966.
Okay.
What's the jingle?
It was to the tune of "Click Go the Shears," if that's a familiar one. It was out go the shillings, out go the pence, in come the dollars, and in come the cents.
I love how you're it goes to the shearing as though we have a sheep economy in the States.
Okay, 5, 10. We've got 5, 10, and 20. We've got 3 notes, and we need to make 19. And it's something. It's current money, right? You said that?
Current, yeah, the current banknotes. No coins, checks, or other items of value were exchanged, just the 3 banknotes.
But somehow our discussion of possibly cutting things was a hint relevant.
Yes.
Was I wrong in my earlier assumption that we didn't need to know about higher banknotes?
Some higher banknotes are involved.
I like how it's involved, what did they have to do with the crime?
Okay, so it's part of a... I'm trying not to give too much away. yes, higher banknotes could be applied to the same situation that Matilda is encountering.
But it would still equal 19?
So she's walked in with 3 banknotes, and we don't know that was $19 because it doesn't say that. It just says 3 banknotes. They're worth $19. She leaves with $19. So what? Are they damaged? Are they broken? Is she swapping a damaged banknote
Yes.
for new ones?
Yes.
Oh.
Then why wouldn't it have been like normal value? Why $19?
Right.
Yeah, because
I don't think they barter.
No, because at least the Bank of England, if you send in damaged notes, they will check the serial numbers, and as long as you're not trying to double claim a note, they should exchange it. But what?
So there is a special rule in force in Australia that pertains to this issue.
What?
Does anybody know?
No, I'm trying to do maths with like 5, 10s and 20s here. Like, do you get less for damaged notes? Like, there's a fee for changing them or something like that?
Oh, I didn't consider that the banks might be fee stingy. That's interesting. I feel like the idea of exchange rates or something sounded good. If there's some $1 bank fee in that way, I wouldn't have. No, I do not know about it.
This rule allows for unusual amounts to occur.
Wait, if you walk in with like 9/10 of a note because you've lost a tenth of it, do they only give you 9/10 of the face value when you replace it?
Yep.
If you have half a note, they'll only give you half the value. Can you cut Australian banknotes into fractions and then trade them for like other fractions of banknotes if there's really?
Yes.
Wait, were we the origin of this cutting banknotes in half rule? Like rumor as children, and it's only half a rumor?
The Reserve Bank of Australia allows for torn banknotes to be exchanged if they're between 20 and 80% intact. The value of the note is proportional to the amount still present, rounded up to the nearest dollar. So to achieve $19,
Wild.
she had half of a $20 note, 80% of a $10
Wait.
note.
Did you say rounded up?
Yeah, rounded up to the nearest dollar.
That's funny.
She's got half of a $20 note, 80% of a $10 note, and 20% of a $5 note. So that's 10 plus 8 plus 1 equals 19. 3 notes.
Okay, I'm going to get a $20 note, cut it into thirds, which is 33%, which will get rounded up to $8 each. And, okay, no, they'll come down on me for that. But what a ridiculous rule. That's amazing.
That's so silly.
I haven't tried to scam the bank enough.
Andrew, who submitted this idea, adds, he quotes, I've successfully used a torn $10 banknote at a store in place of a $5 one.